Commander, we have detected with our sonar an enemy sub loitering around the light button. So it's very important that you go and take it out or check it. If it's friendly, no, don't take it out. But if it's not friendly, no, do whatever you can. Get rid of it. We have to protect our harbor, and it depends on you, Commander. Hello everyone, this is Defense Politics Asia, and this is the summary for the day of 178 for the 20th of August. So let's start off with some important news to the Ukrainians, to the pro-Ukrainians. The Americans have announced a new package of military assistance. In this new assistance, which costs some X amount of money again, which Ukraine will never be able to repay. There will be additional shells or missiles for the HIMARS, MLRS. So there will be for the 16 105 Haubitze, 36,000 shells, and 15 tactical UAVs, and then 40 anti-mine ambush vehicles, basically the MRAPs, which is a troop carrier. So it's like a truck, but it actually have a V-hull in the bottom that protects them from IED, and 1,500 TOW missiles. TOW is anti-tank missiles, handheld, and 1,000 javelins, ATGMs, and 2,000 armor-piercing shells. I'm not sure this one is for what. So yeah, so the important thing is HIMARS, which is why I recorded this, because for the HIMARS watch. And there is also ammunition depot getting struck for HIMARS, which I will not cover in details here because that's reserved for the HIMARS watch. And other than that, let's move on to the Southern Front. So on the Southern Front, there's a new development. There is a Russian attack offensive towards the small town of Blahodatne. So Blahodatne is south of Partizanske, which is actually a stronghold, a Ukrainian stronghold, along the main road towards Mykolaiv from Sulyhivka. So the Russians are reportedly attacking Blahodatne from Vasilivka here, or Vasylky. They're moving northwards towards Blahodatne. And according to the Ukrainian Defense Ministry, so this reported by the Ukrainian Defense Ministry, that there are partial success, and the southern outskirts of Blahodatne, which is probably around here, is already captured by the Russian forces. According to pro-Russian sources, they are even more excited. They claim that Blahodatne is captured. And Suryak Maps on Twitter also echoes the same information. Perhaps he got the information from the pro-Russian sources. They said that Blahodatne is captured by Russian forces. So I put it a question mark because I don't want to commit to it, since Suryak Maps is a mapper just like me. So I will wait for confirmation from perhaps Ryber or any of the Ministry of Defense. So, but this is quite significant because the Russians have been probing around here for quite some time already, for the past months. They tried attacking Shiroke, they tried attacking Partizanske, they tried attacking Pervomaiske, and they have been trying attacking all these locations here and there. And now the new target is Blahodatne. Should this capture be real, then this main road will be in deep trouble. That means the Ukrainians will find it very hard to utilize this road, and the Russians may actually be able to capture Partizanske and cut off this entire road, which will then secure Sulyhivka further, because there won't be a more straightforward road towards Sulyhivka, and that will strengthen Sulyhivka direction, and you'll then allow the Russians to to use this road and capture Performance-K from behind, and maybe Belozerka, and then strengthen their position over here in the northern side of Kherson region. No, not really. To the west of east of Mykolaiv city, and they can then secure this road slowly one by one, and then creating a kind of like a quarter encirclement to the Mykolaiv city. Other than that, there's no other significant fighting in the Mykolaiv region, and there's no other actions over here at the Zaporizhzhia Front nor in the Kharkiv Front. And moving on to the Zaporizhzhia Line. At the Zaporizhzhia Line, there's no ground attack or offenses. However, there is this exclamation from the Ministry of Defense of Russia. They claim that the soldiers stationed at near Vasilivka. So Vasilivka is actually here. This city here is Vasilivka. It's very close to the border. It's only like 12 kilometers to the front line at Kayamske. So Kayamske is actually currently split into half. The lower half of south of the river is controlled by the Russian forces. The northern half on the north of the river is actually controlled by the Ukrainians. So this is just 12 kilometers away, and the Russians say that on the 31st of July, the servicemen that is operating around this region here were taken to the military hospital because they have a severe sign of poisoning. So after examination, they discovered that it's botulinum toxin type B. So in case you do not know what is botulinum toxin type B, it's actually Botox. Yeah, it's basically just Botox. So, but Botox is not exactly what you think it is. Yes, it's used in cosmetic surgery, but it's actually also one of the most poisonous things in the world. So for those that are doing cosmetic surgeries, you know, where you inject some Botox into your skin, you know, into your muscles, the body, and your faces, that's actually one of the most toxic thing in the world. So botulinum toxins is among the most potent toxins known. So intoxication can occur naturally as a result of wound or intestinal infection, or by ingesting formed toxin in food. So the lethal dose is very, very small. It's only 1.3 to 2.1 nanogram per kilometer weight of the person. And this is by dose. I think it's by swallowing. And for inhale, it's around 10 to 13 nanogram in inhale, or 1000 or so. So extravenously probably is, I think, a cut, perhaps, I guess. Then if you ingest it, you need 1000 nanograms per kg. So but you need very little to actually, you know, to actually kill you. So this is actually a widely available toxin or medicine or drug commercially. Most famously is through the brand Botox or Dysport, Xiomin, and Jevil. So according to the Russian Ministry of Defense, they say that they try to establish the cause of the poisoning. Specialists from the main research and testing institute of the military medicine of the Russian Ministry of Defense conducted additional analysis, which is why this report comes this time, because it's already 21 days since this incident happened. They took some time to research, and they can confirm the presence of organic poison of artificial origin, botulinum toxin type B, and they are preparing supporting documents with the result of all analysis carried out on this alleged chemical terrorism sanctioned by, allegedly, the Ukrainian regime. So they'll be sending this to the OPCW, and I think it's the Organization for Proliferation of Chemical Weapons, I think so, through the Russian permanent mission. So it's not going to go anywhere. As usual, this kind of complaints it's not going to go anywhere, which is why I think, especially in the earlier days of the war, the first 2 months, I always repeat myself that this is a war. People die, things happen, and so all this is just they are going through the due diligence. They will do, you know, they do the test, examination, do the reports, and they will submit to the international organizations to make formal complaints. But all these things is not going to go anywhere. Nothing will happen. No one will get charged. No one will get sued. Nothing is going to happen unless Russia conquer the entire of Ukraine and then they'll start to do witch hunts. Otherwise, I don't think this is going to go anywhere. So this is the situation here at Zaporizhzhia. Otherwise, nothing significant happens around here. Moving on to the Donetsk Front. So if you are new, this is Donetsk Oblast. This area here is Donetsk region. This is Luhansk region. So these two regions have declared independence. One is Luhansk People's Republic, the other is the Donetsk People's Republic. And this is the primary objective of the Russian forces in this special military operation declared by the Vladimir Putin, the president of Russia. So in the Donetsk region, which is actually, there's this very long entrenched line, fortification, not very different from World War I's Maginot Line, where maybe just as strong, or Maginot Line might be much more stronger because they have much bigger artillery and bunkers. But anyway, so in this region here, all the way around the Donetsk region here to this point, these are all entrenched positions for the past that has been established over the past 8 years, all the way up to this area here. Then this part here is not new. This part here is new, not old. This part here is the Russian offensive push upwards, and the defense line here is actually improvised and dug out and created over the past half a year. So we have information. Let me check. The last information we got for the 20th of August, which is yesterday's report, but this number is also for the 20th, is that there is fighting reported at Zolota, Nyva. However, there is no reports of the fighting around this region here, and none of these previous fighting locations has reported fighting. Neither at Nova-Mikhailivka. So 17th, I think I will delete all the 17th one because today is already the 21st. This report is for the 20th, and I think that it's reasonable to just delete all these things to clean up any of these fighting reports from the 17th. We will just delete it since we have deleted the 16th one yesterday. So 17th one, all this 17th one we will delete. We will leave the Shevchenko from Yehorivka one here. Otherwise, I think the fighting here have all subsided, and the attack from Soloke towards Novoselivka has failed, perhaps. However, what's new is that there is a fighting reported towards Marinka from Staromykhailivka. So Staromykhailivka is this town here. I need to cough. Then towards Marinka. So this might be an attempt to drive the Ukrainian forces that is entrenched in this western half of Marinka out of this position by putting an additional pressure from the north, because most of the attack is coming from the east. That means coming from Donetsk city, they are moving this word in, and they have been fighting this very prolonged skirmish over this line, and the heavy artillery has always been raining down on Marinka on both sides, but mostly more on from the Russians towards the Ukrainian half, and maybe this attack from the north, or rather northeast or northeast, is actually to put additional pressure on the Ukrainian forces to actually abandon this position. I'm not sure if the Ukrainian forces over at Krasnohorivka will actually intervene. But this is part of this extended offensive that the Russians have been conducting over the past 1 week. And over here at the Pisky region, which is actually northwest of Donetsk city, the fighting from Staromykhailivka towards Nevelske has been outdated, so I will delete this. However, we do have a new one that is coming from Lozove direction towards Nevelske. The difference is actually not very big, so perhaps they're actually the same forces. just that the Ukrainians actually see this as like a slightly different direction. So Nevelske is only here. So previously the attack is coming from the south, so this time around it's coming from the southeast. So yeah, it's not very different. And the fighting, sorry, this is the wrong icon. So and then there is a renewed report on this fighting towards Nevelske from the Pisky direction. So not just coming from the southeast, there's another force of the Russian forces from Pisky region moving westward from the east towards Nevelske as well. The extent of the offensive is not so clear. This is my estimate. There's probably around here. Previously, the Russian forces have bombarded and cleared out the Ukrainian forces around this region, and it's conceivable that the Russian ground forces have pushed into the forest region here and taken this position and trying to push northward further. And which means that it's unlikely that the Russian forces have reached around here from the Pisky region. They're probably just past this this expressway region, and they're still trying to push through westward towards Nevelske. The report on Pervomaiske and Pisky region fighting is not repeated. We haven't heard anything. Perhaps the Russians are still trying to soften the enemy positions with artillery. Which actually do bring me into the question if I should be indicating at least the bombardment icon. So I would want to write so much things, but I just put in the date, perhaps on the bombardment, or for every single report I just put the bombardment without dates so that we can kind of track where is the reported artillery strike. But it's going to be very one-sided because the Russians are both the Russians and the Ukrainians reports on Russian bombardments, but no one reports on Ukrainian bombardments. So it's going to look very one-sided, which is why I have not wanted to report on the bombardments, because I think it would look very one-sided. But you guys let me know in the comments, should I actually indicate locations of artillery strikes so we can kind of see where the Russians are trying to soften the Ukrainian positions. However, we are not going to see much of the Ukrainian bombardments unless I go and dig out the Luhansk People's Republic and Donetsk People's Republic's report. Then my updates is going to take much longer to do. So there is this balance thing that we need to do, because it does takes a lot of time to plot in all these positions. So you guys let me know if I should spend this time, and if I do spend the time, you all have to watch it. Don't waste my time. Then let me earn the money. So the fighting at the Opytne is reported yesterday. Today we didn't see any report on this. And moving on to the Holivka region, where significant developments have happened. The Russian forces have started operation against New York. So this time, this is the first time, I think, or maybe at most the second time, that I have reported Russian forces actually attacking towards New York. I think this is the second time. The first time, is they say that they were fighting in the south, and then it turned out probably it's fake information. And this is for the first time in a long time that the Russians are actually launching operations against New York City. And this New York City is not the one in the United States East Coast, but this is actually the one in Ukraine, where the Ukrainians actually renamed this location to actually attract tourism. I've kind of forgot the backstory, so yeah, there is some backstory to it. You can actually go and Google. So there is this according to the Ukraine Defense Ministry. So this is nothing, this is not Russian propaganda. This is Ukrainian Defense Ministry reporting that the Russians is launching an attack from Novoselivka, towards New York, and they actually spell it in the English way, in the translation, in the translated Google translation, and then there is another one coming from Zalizna Balka towards New York. So the Zalizna Balka is actually not Zalizne. So for those that I'm not sure if anyone will actually read this and map it wrongly. I actually went to search where is Zalizna Balka. It's actually this. It's actually here. So this is Zalizna Balka. This area here this small little village or town, or rather abandoned town region here, this is actually Zalizna Balka. So the Russian forces is actually launching an attack from the direction of Zalizna Balka towards New York, which is actually a direction from the east to west. Yeah. So it's actually a kind of like a attack from two directions, or you can actually call it a pincer in a way, and towards New York city. And this is significant because the Russians have ignored New York for a very long time, and this attack could be just a probe, or it could also be just a attempt to draw Ukrainian forces away from the other fronts that the Russians are facing a lot of problems, perhaps. But the Ukrainians are taking this seriously, as they say fighting continues in the direction, which means that firstly, I just want to add, they have never reported this before. So suddenly they added fighting continues, just is bizarre to me. Or maybe they have reports which I had been missing all this time. I'm not so sure, because I don't really like to search for the report on Facebook. But maybe I should go and take a look, right? So the fighting towards New York is a new development. The fighting at Zalizne and Shumi is no longer reported, and as I mentioned on the 17th one, I will delete it. So no more fighting here in this region here. Yesterday we have reported fighting at Mayorsk, which is this small little town here. Well, we haven't really seen anything today on that. So we are now into the Bakhmut front. In the Bakhmut region, we have no reports on Kodema, fighting at Kodema, except for the reports from yesterday. And we however do have fighting reported from Zaitseve. The directions coming from Staromykhailivka, so coming from the southeast towards Zaitseve. So the lack of the report on Varshina from the Ukrainian Defense Ministry also confirms that Varshina is actually captured by the Russian forces. Dacha and Zaitseve region here have been reported captured from the DPA side based on pro-Russian sources, and the lack of a report from the Ukrainians on these two locations over the past 2-3 days is also a suggestion that these two locations has been captured by the Russian forces. So moving to Bakhmut city, we did not have, do we have? Yeah, 20th. So the last report is from yesterday, that the fighting is at Bakhmut. We didn't have a new report today on this. We, however, do have a new report on fighting at Bakhmutske from direction of Perovske over here, moving up to Bakhmutske. However, the attack is reportedly unsuccessful from the Russian side. The Soleda one, we have not have any information for today. And neither do we have any information on Mykolaiv from today. So that's all from the Bakhmut front. On the Siversk front, at the Siversk front, we have a report, a new version of this report, where the Russian forces are attacking Ivano-Darivka from the Berestove direction. So Berestove is here, or Berestove. I prefer Berestove because it sounds cooler, more nicer. Berestove sounds like I don't know how to speak English. So we're moving on to northwest towards Ivano-Darivka, and yesterday we do have a report that there is fighting near Ivano-Darivka, but they did not mention which direction. So this when they write it in this way, there is actually indication that they might not actually be at Ivano-Darivka. It's only in the direction, so the fighting might actually be in this region here, not actually here. So this fighting here and this fighting here might actually be two different fighting, because previously we still have this information 2 days ago where there is a fighting towards Vimka from Sperne. So there might be a case where the fighting is here, and then the Russians are actually pushing here, trying to hit the rear of the defenders around here to force them into either retreat or surrender. They are defending against the onslaught from Sperne. So that might be actually something that might be happening. So which is why in all this in the direction of kind of thing, we do have to take a pinch of salt in terms of where is the exact fighting location. the Vimka one, we have no more information. So maybe indeed the Ukrainians are correct, unsuccessful, and the Russians withdrew. No information about this Mykolaiv Front region. No idea what happened there. I think all I saw was artillery strikes on these positions. Moving on to the Izyum Front. So this Izyum city, I have complained quite a number of times that the Izyum word should be much bigger because it's quite a significant city in this region here. But anyway, there is a fighting reported at Blahodatne from the Pisky direction. So according to the Ukraine Defense Ministry, they say that the Russian forces carry out combat reconnaissance in the direction of the Pisky Blahodatne and was unsuccessful and withdrew. This actually goes against the claims that Blahodatne has been captured by the Russian 3rd Motorized Rifle Division. So this is why I actually put a question mark, because every time we talk about Blahodatne, there's always a lot of chances that the capture is always not true, and which is why I put a question mark and did not commit to this. So we will see how this goes. If let's say Ryber, because this source coming from Ryber, should Ryber actually change its tunes and suddenly say that it's fighting at Blahodatne, then I will be proven correct. The fighting at Marinka is not reported. Don't know what the hell is happening over there. Probably artillery strikes, which is why coming back I might have to put in the artillery strikes to kind of get some kind of sense of what's happening. So yesterday I reported there's a major offensive coming from the Russians south of Izyum in a wide front all the way from Korokal all the way to Kharkivka. There is no reports on this fighting except for Nova Dmytrivka. And the interesting thing about Nova Dmytrivka is that the report, they say that the assault operation in the direction of towards the Nova Dmytrivka coming from two different directions, from Brazhkivka and from Sulyhivka. So Brazhkivka and Sulyhivka. So in these two directions towards Nova Dmytrivka, you might actually even call it just the same. So there might be a case where the fighting might be actually here. So one force here, which is why you can actually identify, as from these two directions. Although the way how I drew it is in like this, so taking a pinch of salt, because this is just a strategic view of the entire macro situation on the ground. So this is weirdly specific from the Ukrainian Defense Ministry. So let's see how this goes. Again, this put into question about Dubrovnik. Previously, I say fighting at Koroka actually suggests that Dubrovnik has been captured. And this offensive to not capture Dubrovnik and go towards Nova Dmytrivka as well is unusual, because you would probably not ignore Dubrovnik should it be a Ukrainian petition to just go for Nova Dmytrivka, actually put your troops at risk of being cut off from the Ukrainian troops at Dubrovnik. So this is an additional point where Dubrovnik might actually be captured by the Russian forces already. But I'm still waiting for some kind of a more overt confirmation, perhaps war reporters on the ground, before we can actually put some kind of a confirmation on this information on Dubrovnik. Otherwise, it's pretty quiet along the Izyum Western Forest and Balaklia region. Is eerily quiet. Actually, it's not eerily quiet. There's still artillery bombardments. There is no more reports on Lebadje and Vasilivka, so I'm going to delete these two. No more fighting there. So, which might also suggest that my theory of it being just a feint or a distraction might actually be true, because the lack of commitment is so disappointing. I feel offended by their offensive. So, yesterday we reported there's fighting near Boschova. This is not mentioned today. And there is also no mention of fighting near Udi or Ivano-Darivivka. So I think that covers basically everything on the Ukraine. So this is the summary. And before I go into the conclusion, please press the like button, and also do share it to your friends and family or contacts that might be interested in the Ukraine war. And do let me know, if you have any comments, and I will respond to them as much as I can. And this is a summary for the day of 178 for the 20th of August for the Russo-Ukraine war, or the Russian Ukraine special military operation, or special military operation in Ukraine, and or basically Russian invasion of Ukraine. And I'll see you in the next